What's up, you guys? Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Let's get ready to rock and roll on another Heat Talk adventure, guys. Hope everybody's having a beautiful Saturday. So, we went back to back. This is great, guys. Heat are still in the 6th seed, but a big change that's happened with the standings, you guys. We are actually tied for the 4th seed with the Orlando Magic and the New York Knicks. So, as you're seeing in the standings, you guys, the Eastern Conference is crazy. One day, bro, you wake up, you're a 6th seed. The next day, you could be the 9th seed. You know, the Heat are tied for the 4th seed, but they're only 4.5 games down from the 11th seed. So you go on like a 2 to 3 game losing streak. It's really tight in the Eastern Conference. Now, it looks like Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly, they're kind of pulling away with the lead. Because even though we have a 4-way tied for the 4th seed, we're 4.5 games down from the 3rd seed. You know, right now Boston's leading, Milwaukee's only a half game down, Philly's only a game and a half down from the 1st seed, so they're fighting for the 1st seed. It's like I've said before, you guys, I want the Heat to grab that 4th seed. Now, I know people have mentioned that it doesn't matter what seed the Heat get, just put the Heat in the playoffs and they're dangerous, and I agree with that. Hell yeah. I don't think any team wants this smoke. I don't think any team wants to see the Miami Heat in the playoffs, no matter what seed it is. The Heat are the most dangerous team in the Eastern Conference. I know I'm biased. I know I'm a Heat fan. Say whatever you want. We were 8th seed last season and we went to the NBA Finals. Y'all know the story. We know that Jimmy Butler is a different player in the playoffs. We know what Bam Adebayo can do. And Bam Adebayo last year in the playoffs, you guys, he wasn't playing the way he is now. You bring this Bam Adebayo into the playoffs, the Heat are going to be a more dangerous team. Let's not forget Tyler Hero. If Tyler Hero is there, that's going to make a difference. You're adding Jaime Jaquez into this squad. Kevin Love is with us for another year longer. Haywood Highsmith has developed. Duncan Robinson's playing on a different level. You got Josh Richardson added. Thomas Bryant added. You get my point. This team is dangerous in the Eastern Conference. What I would appreciate, though, is if you get a higher seed, get some home court advantage. Why not? But it doesn't really matter where the Heat are. The only thing I would like to avoid is the play-in. If the Heat can get a top 6 seed, that'd be nice. I think that'd be good. If the Heat grab the 4th seed, that's cool too. So yeah, I agree with a lot of you. Doesn't really matter where they get to. But a higher seeding would be nice, especially to stay out of the play-in. That's just my opinion. People may think differently. Doesn't really matter. But one thing I do want to talk about, you guys, is the rotation that Spo's going with. And it's like I've mentioned in the past. Spo likes to play usually a 8 to 9 man rotation. And you saw it a lot last night. Now, Jimmy Butler didn't play again. I don't know if the calf strain is actually something, or if Jimmy's just getting rest because of all those games he played with Bam and Tyler out. Who knows? But what I'm trying to think of is what's Spo going to do when you incorporate Jimmy back? Because last night, you saw a starting lineup of Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin at the 4. You saw Jaime Jaquez take the place of Jimmy Butler, which I've mentioned previous times before. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is basically a little Jimmy Butler. And then you had the backcourt of what we started this season, Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero. Duncan Robinson was the 6th man. Now, before I move forward, good Lord, Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero last night, wow. Damage. Tyler Hero gives you 30 points. Duncan Robinson gives you 27 points. I mean, these two looking like the Splash Brothers out there. And I've said this before, you guys, and I'll say it again. When Jimmy Butler comes back and you insert Jimmy into the starting lineup, maybe we might consider putting Tyler Hero as the starting point guard with Duncan Robinson as the starting 2. Give these guys an opportunity, especially since it's still the beginning of the season. Give them an opportunity to try out there. Now look, I get it. Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, they're not the best defensively. I know when you look at guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Steph ain't the best defensively, but he had Klay Thompson. But I will say this. Duncan Robinson has gotten better defensively. And Tyler Hero doesn't suck defensively. I don't believe that at all. I think he can hold his own. The Miami Heat play a lot of zone, And they have guys that can make up for lack defensively. You got Bam Adebayo, you got Jimmy Butler, and if you start Caleb Martin, these three can hold their own defensively. I think it'll be just fine. Whether you're starting Caleb Martin, whether it's Haywood Highsmith, I think it's good enough. But this is something I think Spoelstra can entertain, because Kyle Lowry last night gives you 22 minutes, 3 points. But I'll tell you, I'm not going to knock Kyle Lowry. I know I was the beginning of the season. I know I was saying to trade Lowry. But at this point, if you can't trade Lowry, you're going to take him for what he's going to give you. Yes, he only had 3 points, but look at this. He's a +9 out there. Kyle Lowry, with the minus positive differential, usually is on the positive side. What he does out there doesn't really show in the box score. But I think starting Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson in the backcourt, who knows if it'll be better or worse? I just think it's something we should try. Because you know when Jimmy comes back, Jaime Jaquez Jr. is going to be our sixth man. That's the way I feel. I think this is the lineup that we're seeing. Last night gave me a good indication that Spo is looking to go with Caleb Martin as a starting four, just like he's done previously. And I think the dude's earned it. So I think from now you're going to see a starting rotation of Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, like we're accustomed with. And I think it would be better to have Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero as the backcourt. You have Kyle Lowry come off the bench for one of the guards. You got Haywood Highsmith being the sixth man. You got, Jaime Jaquez Jr. being the sixth man. You got Josh Richardson and Kevin Love. So what does that mean? Haywood Highsmith is going to probably be the one to eat crap. Now, Haywood, and why do I say this? Because last night, Haywood Highsmith played 10 minutes off the bench. He did have 5 points. What Haywood Highsmith does defensively changes the game. But unfortunately, there are players ahead of him. We know what Caleb Martin could do out there. We know Caleb Martin's going to be the starting power forward moving forward. Kevin Love has officially inserted himself as the backup 5 or coming off the bench for the starting 4. He's that guy. You thought it was going to be Thomas Bryant with Kevin Love starting, but this is the way Spo's going to do it. Spo's not going to play a 10 to 11 man rotation. That's just not his style. He goes with what Pat Riley used to go to, 8 to 9 man rotation. Josh Richardson, look, 3 points, I understand, it's not a huge deal, but Josh Richardson gives you defensive presence, he can hit shots. So Josh Richardson's earned his spot. So that's the 9 that I feel that the Miami's going to go with. Now, how Spoelstra is going to play it, we're going to have to wait and see. But that, in my opinion, is the most optimum lineup. Bam, Jimmy, and Caleb starting in the front court. Tyler and Duncan Robinson in the backcourt. Try that out. See if it works. You got Kyle Lowry. Give Kyle Lowry 15, 20 minutes a game like he was doing in the playoffs. I think that's where Kyle Lowry is suited best. Dude is tough as hell. You saw him injure his leg yesterday. He came back to the game. For all you know, he's going to miss a few games. So this is going to be a perfect opportunity to try it out. Why not? Tyler and Duncan in the backcourt, I think, could work. They just need more reps. You know, Kyle's going to come off. He's going to be the backup point guard coming off the bench. Jaime Jaquez is a sixth man with Josh Richardson and Kevin Love. I think that's going to work. And then in the playoffs, you might see that go down to an 8-man rotation. Spoelstra usually likes to go with 8 guys that he trusts the most. So it's going to be interesting to see what Spo comes up with, but I want to hear from you guys because there's a lot of playable players. I mean, it's not just these 9 that I named. Haywood Highsmith, Thomas Bryant, Jamal Cain, Orlando Robinson. Maybe some of you guys feel differently. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think is the best 9 players for this current roster to move forward? We've talked trades and possible stuff like that in the past. I want to stay away from that in this video. I want to talk specifically about this roster is because, like I said in the previous video, and if you haven't watched it, go check it out. I think this current roster that we have is good enough. This roster, you guys, in my opinion, is better than what we had last year that went to the finals. Because now you have a healthy Tyler Hero. You have additional help with Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Josh Richardson making up for Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. And then you have Kevin Love another year with these guys. I just think what we have right now works. Now, yes, if you can trade Kyle Lowry throw in a draft pick, and get an upgrade in point guard, of course, why wouldn't you entertain that? But the chances of it happening, I think, are really slim. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think is the optimal 9-man rotation moving forward? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. You guys would really mean a lot to me. We on that road to 3,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your time and support. You guys enjoy your Christmas holiday. Let's go Heat.